So Bud Light officially has competition, or they has what they are deeming competition. Now, for me personally, I don't view this as competition. And the reason why is because whenever you have companies like this try to take such a hardcore political stance, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, you are automatically alienating half of your potential client base right off the bat by making these statements. This is the reason why get woke, go broke is a thing. Now, in this scenario, this is something on the completely opposite side. Now, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think it's a little bit extreme. So we have an article here from Outkick that talks about apparently how an ultra-right beer company is pumping out a wild anti-Bud Light commercial, and they're basing their entire brand off of being ultra-right. Now, that's great and everything. Like, you want to do that, that's fine, but I just want you to be aware that you automatically lost 50% of potential customers just based off your politics. This is no different than getting woke and going broke. If you want to support this nonsense lefty bullshit, then that's a problem and you're going to lose money. If you want to support this ultra-right MAGA stuff, while that's great and everything for you guys, it's still going to lose a ton of money for potential customers that could have just drank your beer. The reason why Bud Light was so big in the first place is because it was mostly apolitical, at least in the public eye. Yes, they were heavy Pride supporters, but they were doing it in their local communities. They were on flyers and whatnot. They weren't doing national ads. Every single one of their national ads was, for the most part, just straightforward American ads, right? So we're going to get into this article, but of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. It says, while Bud Light is recruiting NFL tight ends for their newest commercials, Ultra Right, the non-woke alternative, is pumping out the wildest 2 minutes of content you'll ever see. The newest thorn in Bud Light's side has been creeping up the charts for months now, ever since Dylan Mulvaney was plastered on a can. Shortly after the fallout began, Ultra Right was born and billed as everything Bud Light wasn't: non-woke, non-political, 100% patriotic. Now, this comment right here, that's an oxymoron, okay? You cannot claim to be non-political and call yourself ultra-right. I'm just being honest with you. You can be non-political and 100% patriotic, because patriotism has nothing to necessarily do with politics or political beliefs. But what I will say is non-political and ultra-right, that just doesn't make any sense, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. If you're on the ultra right, I would hope that you understand that that is a bit of an oxymoron here and makes no sense. So if you're trying to claim to be non-political, that's probably not the best name to call your beer. It says six-packs started flying off the virtual shelves in May, but only to a select few states. Now, though the stuff has gotten so popular, it's available everywhere, prompting this new ad that'll knock your socks off. Buckle up, cowboys and girls. Now, I'm not going to play the ad because, quite simply, I don't want to get copyrighted, but I assure you it is as right-wing as you can imagine. Like, it just is. So it says, what an ending. Didn't see it coming. May have been more shocking than The Departed. Obviously, this is a play on Smokey and the Bandit. Duh. It featured just about everything from smashing Bud Light cans with a baseball bat to an iconic performance from The Cop. Somewhere, Jackie Gleason is smiling, I think. I've got a woke Smokey on my tail. Anyway, back to the actual beer itself. Ultra Right launched in May and was a hit. Shocking, I know. I feel like we have a couple Outkick readers who crushed the stuff, but that's just a hunch. According to the New York Post, after just 12 days in business, Ultra Right gained about more than 10,000 customers and sold 20,000 six-packs. The bad news? They run for $20 a pop, which is steep compared to Bud Light, which is basically free at this point. The good news? You can drink them in public and not be mocked. Your choice, I reckon. Well, listen, again, I'm sure they're going to do well, okay? I'm sure they're going to sell plenty of beer. My only thing is that they're not going to reach the levels of what Bud Light was, simply because they decided to automatically alienate half the customers that they could have potentially sold beer to. It's not a great choice, you know what I mean? Like, anytime you have these ultra one-sided companies, they tend to start off strong and then fade away, right? Like, once people's anger and emotions start to teeter off and things start to normalize and go back to how they were, it starts to fade, right? And you're not going to have that long-lasting effect because you only went after the people who were emotionally driven to buy your beer at the time that they were angry. That's just my opinion, okay? So I don't think this is necessarily the best choice for them, unless it's just like a get-rich-quick scheme or whatever the case would be. I don't really know, but I just don't think it's a good choice to make something like this so ultra-political right off the bat, out the gate. It says, as for Bud Light, things have gone from bad to worse in a recent week. Sales continue to plunge at a nearly 30% clip, while every every single social media gets ruthlessly mocked like it's our job. Stocks have tumbled for months, billions of dollars are already lost, and experts fear it could get worse in the fall. Not great unless you're an ultra-right fan, of course. Short and simple article, ladies and gentlemen, and not a shocking one at all. Bud Light is going to continue to feel the effects of their decisions. This is what's going to happen when you get woke and go broke, but I don't really feel like this particular beer that's ultra-right is any better. I really don't. Like, could the beer be good? Sure, absolutely, but I just think that the messaging is not necessarily going to be well received en masse, and I think it's going to fall deaf on a lot of people's ears that otherwise would have listened if perhaps they weren't so ultra political. You know what I mean? Like I said, nothing wrong with being patriotic, because I don't consider patriotism to be tied to politics or political beliefs, but I know some people do, but I don't. But to call yourself ultra right and then claim you are not political, I think that's an oxymoron. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.